Welcome to CC Fashion. It's a pleasure to have you here. If you are just tuning in for the first time, do take the front seat. But if you are a returning subscriber, you are highly welcome back. And for those of you who are coming in just to form a parasitic relationship, please, that is the way out. So kindly take your leave. So now that the house is in order, let us dive into the in this video, we're going to be putting you through how to go about making a bootcut trousers. So to start with, these are the measurements. From the measurements that we have, I've already drawn out the lines. You can see here from the start point to the crotch depth and to the knee line, then to the full length. So do well to do that. And if you do not know how to go about drafting a man's trousers, do well to check the link that I'm going to be dropping in the video somewhere here or in the description box. So let's just move right into the video. Let's start by marking whatsoever that we have as a quarter of the hips measurement on both the waistline and on the crotch depth line. So here I'm marking 9.5 inches here. Then I'll go ahead and draw a straight line to connect the 2 points together. Like so. Afterwards, what I'm going to mark here as the crotch extension is going to be 1.5 inches. Like I said earlier, I have explained in details how I got all this in the other video. So do want to check it out to help you follow along with us. And if you have any question, do want to leave it in the comment section and I will be there to attend to each and every one of your questions. Okay, so after marking this crotch depth, I need to let you know that we're going to use the midpoint method in drafting this particular pants. In other videos, I've shown you different ways of making pants, a man's pants, but in this particular one, based on the style that we are trying to create here, we're going to make use of midpoint method. So this is a privilege for you to know how to go about drafting the midpoint method. Let's continue. So when I've marked my crotch, my hips measurements, and I've marked my crotch extension, so whatsoever I have from here to here is what I'm going to measure now. Now you see the measurements that I'm taking here. I have here 11 inches. So 11 inches is where I have my crotch extension. Then that's 11 inches. I'm going to simply divide it into 2. So dividing 11 inches into 2 gives me 5.5. So that is where I'm marking here, marking 5.5 here to be my center point. And that is what I'm going to mark all throughout the trouser line. Then I'll go ahead and connect these lines to form a straight line. Okay guys, so after connecting this line, this is now my midpoint. We call this midpoint. After getting the knee points, the next thing is to divide my knee measurements into 2 and mark it. So I have 16 inches to be my knee measurement. So I'm simply going to divide the 16 into 2 to give me 8. So this is 8 inches here. So this 8 inches is what I'm going to fold into 2 like this and then place part of it on one side. Now this is folding it into to give me 4 inches. Then this 4 inches, I'm going to place it at the center line. That is at the midpoint here. And I'm going to mark the 4 inches on this side. And I'll also mark the 4 inches on this other side. Now, literally, what we do here is to place the midpoint of the round knee measurements. That is half of the round knee measurements. I'm placing the midpoint at my midline. So I hope you are getting the whole concept. Then after placing the midpoint at the midline, I will now mark the 8 inches and the beginning of the 8 inches, thereby centralizing my marking. So I hope you get that. So let's proceed. Moving over to the full length, let's mark the ankle measurements now. So I'll do the same thing that I did for the knee measurements. I'll divide my ankle into 2. That is 22 divided by 2 gives me 11 inches. So the 11 inches is what I'm going to fold into 2 to obtain a midpoint. Then I'll go ahead and place it here and mark it. It's very simple, right? This is where people get it wrong. Some people do connect from the knee line to the full length. And if you do that, this is just going to give you like more of a female's boot cut. But for Amazon, you really need to bring out the belt structure. To achieve that roundness on the hem part of the trousers, take note of this. It is very important. What you need to do is to come over to the full length. Now, let me adjust this. Coming over to the full length line, you need to mark about 3 inches here. If your trousers is not very long, you can go for 2.5. So you mark 3 inches on both sides, like so. Take note of this, that this is where my start point is, and this is where my end point is. So I'm not going to take it up here. So I'll take it up from here straight up to this point, about 3 inches. The same thing with this other side. From here upward, 3 inches. So I'm going to draw a straight line to my 3 inches point now. I hope you are getting the whole gist now. In a sense that when you measure the full length at this point, at this full length line, it gives you 11 inches. And when you measure it upward to about 3 inches, it will still remain 11 inches. Take note of that. Then when we are done with that, we'll still come over to this knee point. We are going to make a little adjustment that people rarely take note of. Please, we do not need any sharp knee. We don't need that sharpness on the knee part. So what you need to do is to mark 1 inch up, 1 inch up, and 1 inch down. So that is going to give you a straight line from this point to this point, to avoid the sharpness that most people do bring out on their knee when they are making bootcut trousers. So I'm repeating that on 2 sides. Then I'm going to draw the straight line now. This is basically very important when you are making a bootcut trousers. Very, very important. So now that we have marked that, we can now connect from the knee point, that is 1 inch below the knee point, to these 3 inches above the full length. Iwatago? You understand? Just say Awatago. My Igbo people, are you there? So guys, let me know if I'm able to speak it well. All right, so we'll connect it on this other side too. All right, now look at the structure that you see. It is not too obvious, and the flare is not just a feminine flare. To get the full gist about these bootcut trousers, do well to check the video that I'm going to leave the link in the description box, or you just kindly get into the channel and search for a video before this particular one. I have taken time to explain those differences that you need to put in place when you are cutting a bootcut trousers for men. So let's proceed. I hope you are following it. Now that we have gotten the knee point, we have gotten it up to the knee point, we are going to just we are going to connect it to the crotch depth. This is another trick that you need to take note of. I'm not going to connect it with a straight ruler. That's the mistake that people do have. For you to get this cut, it's not all that costly. This will save you a lot of stress. So I'm basically going to place this curve now at this point. Now take note of how I am placing it. Can you see that? All right. Then draft it from here to this point. All right, then if I wish, I may just smoothen my work here using that coffee part. Guys, isn't it beautiful? Don't you like what you're seeing? So why not put up effort to make yours like this? So what I'm going to do now is to just connect this other side. So guys, sorry that my camera went off while drafting this other side, but I'm going to explain how I literally place the ruler, just like this, just as I did in this other side. I placed it like this in this other side, and then I cuffed it to this crotch extension point. Remember, not on the hips line, crotch extension point. So we are almost done. It's just a few steps to finish the front part. Then when we are done here, the next thing is just to curve the crotch. So from this point over to this point should be like 1.5 or 2 inches upward when you are curving it. So do well to set the ruler very well. Do not make it too curvy, like I said. So then you curve it in like this. See, this is looking absolutely stunning. Then we'll also mark the waist measurements. So a quarter of the waist measurement that I'm working with is 8.5 inches. So I always like to add a little allowance when I am marking stuff like this. So I'm going to place my tape from here to mark 8.5. Then I'll add half inch to be my ease allowance. Maybe when I am shaping the trousers, then I would know what to do. Thereafter, I'll slant whatever I have to the hips. Let's say like about 7 inches here. See now, I'm going to slant it down like this. Okay, and that gives us a coutured waistline here. Then to slope the front part of it, I'm going to mark 3/4 of an inch downward. 3/4 of an inch like this. If it is someone that has a wider hips, you can mark up to 1 inch. So I'm just going to slant it, slope it like this to this half of an inch. So that is what I have for the front panel. Next thing is to cut. Guys, can't you see how it's already flowing? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Hey, this is so beautiful, so handsoming. Like, which term are we supposed to use? Before we keep blushing, let's move to the back parts. Okay, so here is my pattern. To cut the back part, you need to ensure that the back part or the back panel has all the seam allowances. What I'm going to do now is to extend the front, the back crotch. So after placing it on the pattern like this, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch here. I will ensure that this place is up to 1.5 inches. So this is 1.5 inches, which is going to be my crotch extension. So I'm going to literally curve it into this point, like so. And this is how I place my curve ruler, not at the curvy parts, not too curvy, but at least a little bit curvy. Now you can see how it looks like. Then when I'm done, I'm going to take note of the crotch depth. This is the crotch depth where it is. Then I'm also going to take note of this waistline. And on getting to my hip point, that is 7 inches. Let me show you. Then it's not entering. Okay. So getting to my waistline, I'll take note of 7 inches downwards, and that's my hips point here. Then I will mark half of an inch like this, from this point to this point, half of an inch. And I'm going to literally curve it into this side using my curve ruler. So I'm going to place it like this. Please always make sure that this part is very curvy. Unlike the back panel, unlike the front panel that is not too curvy, make sure that the back panel is curvy. Then coming over here, I have marked this point. So I'm going to mark like 1 inch inward to this part, like so. And I'll raise this up to slant it from here to that point, just like this. This is very important because the back part of any human being is always popping up because of the spots. So you need to slant it in by 1 inch. If you choose not to slant it, maybe you want to shape it afterward. That is when you are done cutting your trousers. But for the sake of this tutorial, let us do the right thing so that you will understand the standard way of doing things. Okay, after slanting it inward like this, you can see that I am literally done with the crotch part. Now, this is the difference between the back crotch and the front crotch. So if there is space here, I would advise that you raise it up about 1 or 1.5 inches, depending on the size of the trousers that you are working with. But mine is good because the person just wants it a low waist and a sagging trousers. So I don't need to go that far of raising it. But for a normal lapping trousers, you can do well to raise it up. Okay, guys, so let's proceed. When I'm done with the crotch curve like this and the crotch extension for the back, the next thing for me to do is to add 1 inch for that allowance. Remember that the back part of the trousers need a dart. So from here to this point, I'm adding 1 inch allowance to it. Then I'm going to connect it directly to this line that I have here, this hips point. So I'm going to connect it straight down to that point, like this. Then after connecting it that way, I'll also add my seam allowance that I did not add. Remember, I did not add any seam allowance while drafting the front part. So in drafting the back part, I really need to add all the seam allowances there. Then I'm going to add 2 inches here, 2 inches here on this other part, 2 inches all through, 2 inches all through, 2 inches here, 2 inches here. So that is going to be. So let me just go ahead and cut this other side so that I can adjust the other parts to meet the 2 inches that I have added there. At this point, I'm cutting out precisely what I have here. Then when I get here, I would dodge and cut the new line. Then I'll raise this up and cuff my crotch properly. All right. So afterward, I'm going to shift from here to the 2 inches that I left. I'll shift all of this to match up with my 2 inches. Thereby, when checking it on this other side, I will also have 2 inches. So now you can see this is going to be 2 inches even to the hem part of it. When I'm sure of the adjustments, I'm going to cut it. Remember the 2 inches that I left here. Remember these 2 inches. So from this point straight down to this point is going to be drawn out first. Let me just draw it out. You know, this point here. Let me just show you so that you understand. This point here. Now, can you see? I'm drawing 2 inches parallel to this line here, just as you can see. Then I will now return this to that point here, like this, like so. So when I'm cutting it from here to the other side. I hope you are following. All right, now everything is balanced and it's looking so amazing, so wahoo. So guys, just try this out and thank me later. So this is how far we can go for this video. Have you derived any benefit from this video? I'm sure you have, if you were listening attentively. So if you have derived any benefits from this video, why not give me a clean thumbs up and then share this video to as many people as possible. Is there any part that you are confused? I am always at the comment section to make sure that I clarify any issue, any problem that you may have. So why not leave a comment in the comment section and then I'll be there to attend to it. Meanwhile, did you really take the front seat as I said? That means you need to subscribe to this channel and then turn on your notification bell until I come your way next time. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.